introduce our today's speaker, that is Dr. Dhruv Nath. He's with us today. So Dr. Dhruv Nath is an angel investor and he's also a co-author of the book Funding Your Startup and Other Nightmares. So Dr. Dhruv has also been a professor at MDI Gurgaon and has also been the senior vice president at NIIT Limited. He has also been the consultant at various companies like Gillette, Nestle, Indian Oil Corporation, Bajaj Auto, and various other companies. Also, he has also been the consultant to the Prime Minister of Namibia and also the Chief Minister of Delhi. So we are extremely honored to have Dr. Dhruv Nath with us today, and we are very happy that he could share his time with us. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
I would also like to introduce IIC to all my fellow students, the Institute Innovation Council that has been established by MHRD, that is Ministry of Human Resource Development, in 2018 across selected higher education institutes across India to foster the culture of innovation amongst the students. Therefore, the primary resolve of IIC is to encourage, inspire, and nurture the young students. And for this, IIC conducts various innovation and entrepreneurship related activities like webinars, periodic workshops, seminars, and interaction with entrepreneurs, investors, and professionals, which create a mentor pool for student innovators.
Right. So with this, we would like to invite Dr. Dhruv Nath, sir, to come forward and start this session with his kind words. Dr. Dhruv, sir,
Okay.
please.
Thank you. I don't think they'll be kind, but anyway, I'll start. So
Sure,
I,
sir.
I
Sure.
must clarify a couple of things. I think Devarsh just announced the fact that I was a consultant to the Prime Minister of Namibia. But I must tell you, after that, he lost the elections. And I was also an advisor to the Chief Minister of Delhi. After that, she died. So you guys have to decide whether you want to follow my advice or not. I've just given you the background. Okay. Okay. So just to understand, I think there are about what, 45 odd people here? Yeah. So are all of you students from MNIT or are you from across the country? Are some of you non-students? What is the background?
Sir,
Sir,
we have students
mostly
from
are
our
students
college.
from MNIT.
Yes, sir. From all the years, sir.
Okay, so
Like
it's
from
only
first
from
year till
MNIT.
fourth year. Yes, sir.
I thought it was a B plan competition across multiple colleges. No?
Uh,
Right, sir.
Yes,
But in
so
this,
we had
yes,
circulated the competition and we have received the entries for the B plan, but maybe they weren't interested to join the session.
Oh,
Means we
okay.
have circulated the information.
Okay, okay. So today is basically predominantly MNIT students. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, it was. But here you are.
And tell me one thing, have you guys seen your campus? You have?
yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yes,
You're
sir.
fortunate. Unfortunately, in today's times, particularly I know MBA students, first year, I think to some extent, second year also, never seen their campus. It's unfortunate. Anyway, hopefully things will stabilize and you will see your campus. Okay, so what I thought I would do, just hold on, is I will see my background is that for the last 8 odd years, I have spent a hell of a lot of time with young people like you, typically founders of startups. Okay, and it's been a lot of fun, and that's the reason why I keep doing sessions like this. And I must tell you that I have learned a hell of a lot from young people like you, and hopefully that keeps adding to my knowledge, which is why I keep continuing. So what we have done is I, along with a co-author, have written a book, and you're aware of this book, right? Funding Your Start. Oh, it's Ulta. Okay. Anyway, I presume you can read the name, right? Funding Your Startup and Other Nightmares. So this is basically about startups, what you need to do to make sure it becomes successful, what you need to do to get funding, what you need to do to attract the attention of the investor, and so on, right? And this is all based on startups that I have been personally involved in, right? It's not stories about Flipkart and Amazon, which you can, I mean, you can read all those stories on the internet anytime. But these are startups which are smaller, and I have been involved in them personally. Some have succeeded, some have failed. So what I'll share with you today is the learning that I've had, some of the learning I've had from these startups that I have been interacting with, and I'll do it in 3 parts. Part 1, I will share with you one story from this book, one story, again a startup that I have known. Part 2, I will talk about framework that me and my co-author have created, which you use to figure out, which startups are likely to become successful. And part 3 is I will then talk about the investment process and things like angel investing, venture capital, and so on. Right? So I'll talk about these three parts. So let me just hold on. Let me just share. Yes. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Great. So this is part 1, and what I will do is and this, by the way, is the book. So incidentally, whatever I'm talking about is picked up from my book, and I think, as Vivek has mentioned in one of his messages, by the end of today, I will sign and give 5 copies of my book, and you don't have to pay for it, by the way. Right? It's free. I'll give 5 copies of my book to 5 people on this call. Okay. The only condition is you have to be around at the end. You can't disappear, go away, and watch a movie with your boyfriend and girlfriend and come back and say, "Sir, I want a book." No. Then you have to buy it. Okay. So whatever I'm talking about is picked up from the book, and I'll start with uh, this one startup which I have been personally involved in. It's called Squirrel. Now, all of you are aware of what squirrels do. So, you'll find that they are always hunting for food. Okay. And some of the food that they get, they will eat, some of it they will save, because there will be times when, there is no food available. For example, in the monsoons or in the Western countries in the snow. Now, if you look at human beings, right, they also need to save, isn't it? Although they need to save money, not food. But there is a fundamental problem with saving, right? What's the problem with saving? Can anybody tell me? And let's make this interactive. Eh? It's not it's not one way. Let's make it interactive. What's the basic problem with saving?
So what I think is that when we save the money, like I'll just like talk a bit, like we have inflation. So if we save the money, the value of the money, it just goes down. There's no use of saving it. So instead, we should invest it somewhere.
ठीक है. You're Devarsh, right?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. Okay, valid. There is an even bigger issue. You're right. I mean, some people think like this. Many people don't give a damn about inflation, but they still don't save. Why is that? Anyone?
Sir, people can't differentiate between their savings, expenditure, and their income. They do not know how to save, how much to save, and where to save. It is the main problem.
So who said
Like
that?
the income they are Ishan Sharma.
Ishan.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, just give me your names. And oh, by the way, I couldn't hear you because you haven't shown me your face. I told you, I don't talk to people I can't see.
Sorry, sir. Sir, actually network problem है सर तभी ये चल रहा है सर.
एक मिनट सच बोल नेटवर्क प्रॉब्लम है या बनियान पहनी हुई
Yes,
है?
sir. नहीं
Yes?
सर सही में नेटवर्क प्रॉब्लम है सर.
ठीक है. ओके. देखो आज बड़ी सिंपल बात है. Okay, since you guys are in Allahabad, I'm assuming all of you understand Hindi. There's no problem with occasionally switching to Hindi. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yeah, okay. So, boss, there are far
Yes, sir.
temptations, isn't it? For example, look at the boys on this group. Tomorrow, if Royal Enfield announces one brand new 800cc bike, right? You will all rush to the dealer showroom के boss मेरे को आज ही खरीदनी है, right? And to hell with saving. There are far too many temptations. Or, there's a great new movie in town. All the girls, all the boys will go there. They'll watch the movie. They will eat popcorn. They will eat burgers. And after that, they have to go out for dinner. And if they're having dinner, they have to go to a bar and drink, isn't it? You guys are old enough to drink, right? I'm not saying the wrong thing, I hope.
Some of us.
Some of us. Okay. So some of you will go and drink, the others will quietly go and drink. Okay. So, the point is there are far too many temptations. That is why people find it very difficult to save. Very difficult as a habit to get into the savings habit. So, the founder, what he did was he said, okay, to see how people save successfully, I will take you back to your grandmother's time, right? And if you go back to your grandmother's time, there was something called a gullak, right? And you can see the gullak here, right? Gullak में एक छोटा सा slot है where you can put in change. So take a very simple example. Suppose your grandmother were to buy sabzi worth, let's say 9 rupees 70 paise, right? She gives the sabzi wala 10 rupee note. What does she get? 30 paise. That 30 paise goes into the gullak. Okay? And the gullak cannot be opened. It can only be broken right at the end. Or she spends, let's say, 16 rupees 80 paise. The 20 paise change goes into the gullak. And one fundamental reason why this works, fundamental reason is that it is painless. See, if somebody tells you, boss, you must save 1000 rupees every week or every month, it's not easy. But if somebody says, boss, whatever you spend, वो छोटा सा जो change है ना जो बचता है, just save that. That's painless. If you're spending 9 rupees 70 paise, you might as well spend 10 rupees at 30 paise, won't make a difference, right? So it's painless and that is why it works. So what the founder of Squirrel decided was, he says, we will automate this gullak. Okay, the question is how. So what they did was they created an app. And, in this app, sorry. So in this app, every time you spend money digitally, when I say digitally, it could be a check, it could be online banking, it could be Paytm, MobiKwik, it could be UPI, it could be a credit card, debit card, whatever, right? Except cash. So you get an SMS, isn't it? Right? Now, when you downloaded the app and you registered with Squirrel, you gave Squirrel permission to access some of your SMSs, not all. Okay, let me take an example. So, which of you boys has a girlfriend? Devarsh, you have a girlfriend? Devarsh chup hai, that means hai girlfriend. What's her name, Devarsh? Devarsh, what's her name? Yeah, you guys have to respond. Can't
I think
get...
Devarsh got disconnected.
Oh,
Maybe some issues.
so Vivek, you have a girlfriend. What's her name?
So I think that shouldn't be answered here.
Oh, okay. So let's assume. Anyway, let's assume. Just take a name. Let us assume her name is Ajkal Alia. Okay. So Vivek has a girlfriend. Her name is Alia. I will not give you the surname. Now, suppose they want to exchange a lot of lovey-dovey messages on SMS, right? Can Squirrel see them? Please understand, Squirrel doesn't give a damn. It doesn't care. विवेक की love life अच्छी चल रही है, बुरी चल रही है, breakup हो गया, it doesn't care. It is only interested, and Vivek is smiling, so I mean he can understand what I'm saying. So the only thing it is interested in is what you are spending, what Vivek is spending, right? So it picks up what you spend. At the end of the week, it totals up all your expenses and rounds it up to the nearest 100. So let's say at the end of the week, it finds that you spent, for example, 1,280, right? That 20 rupees which it takes to round up to the nearest 100 is saved. So it operates in exactly the same manner as the gullak, except that this is automatic, whereas in the case of the gullak, it was not automatic, correct? So there you had to remember to do it, you had to do it manually. Here it's automatic as long as you given instructions. So now one thing which Squirrel realized was, he said, look, We cannot charge for a thing like this. It's very unlikely anybody will pay for this. But once we have got people who we have onboarded, they've downloaded our app, they have registered, then we will give them other financial products and charge for this. Okay, insurance, loans, investment, financial planning, tax planning, etc. Right? So these things they charge for, and that is how they make money. Oops, what happened? I've stopped sharing. Just hold on.
No, sir, it is being shared.
Sorry?
Sir, it's visible, sir.
It is visible, sir.
Yes, sir. It's your screen is visible.
It's visible. Okay, I can't see my screen. Hold on. How do I see my screen? Okay, let me do one thing. Let me just get out of share mode and get back into sharing. Yeah. Okay. Can you see it now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Oh, I can
Yes,
also
sir.
see. Good. So now that was part one. So part two is based on this. I will share with you what I call a framework for a successful startup, right? And the framework is called persistent, and you can see the word persistent over here. Okay. And when I say framework, each letter of this word stands for something. Right? So let's take each letter one by one. So the first letter is problem. What does that mean? Are you solving a problem for somebody? Because if you're running a business and you're not solving a problem, then obviously you don't have a business. Nobody comes to you, right? Now, clearly these guys are solving a problem because they are A, helping you save, and B, ultimately helping you invest, helping you buy insurance, take a loan, etc., right? So clearly they are solving a problem. Next, do they have an earnings model? So not only should you be solving a problem, but somebody should be willing to pay you for this, because only then do you have a viable business, right? So obviously, for saving, nobody is going to pay, but for the other products, yes, they are willing to pay, and which is the earnings model that these guys successfully have. Okay. Third is size of the market. Again, very important. Why is size of the market important? You know, if you have only a tiny sized market, right? The problem is at some stage, at a very early stage, you will stagnate. Maybe you will grow to, let's say, 15 lakh revenues, 20 lakh revenues, and that's it. Market ही नहीं है उसके आगे, isn't it? So it is very important for startups to operate in a market which is large so that you continue to grow. Okay? However, there is one problem, which is sometimes the market is crowded. What does that mean? Anyone?
You have competitions.
Absolutely.
Like
So,
today's
You have
High
competition.
competition.
Sir, that
like
field has been already explored like much.
Sir,
education in
many people are trying to solve same problem
correct.
yes.
Sorry, who said that? Who's
the
Katie?
same way.
Education in tech in present world can be a
No,
good
I
example.
want to know your names. Who's Katie? Katie,
Krishna Degriwal.
sorry?
Yeah. Krishna Tekriwal.
Okay. So, if the market is crowded, which means you have lots of competitors and particularly large competitors, right? So, take this example. Take this example. Look at Squirrel, right? What are they offering? You can buy loans, you can take loans, you can buy insurance policies, you can invest in mutual funds, you can do financial planning. Can you think of other large competitors who are already in this business online?
The AMCs are there, but
Paisabazar.com.
Yeah, can we have one person at a time, please? Yeah. Yeah. Who said that? Policy Bazaar.
Yes, sir. Paisabazar, Policy Bazaar,
Wonderful. Who
and
said?
sir, Ishan.
Okay. Yes. Who else?
Bima Pay,
Bima Pay. Who said that?
Gaurav.
Okay. Yes. Have you heard of things like
there is
Money?
this new startup.
Yeah.
There's this new startup called Spenny, which works on the same model, I guess, which is a
You're
YC funded startup.
absolutely right. Spenny is very similar to Squirrel. Absolutely right. Who said that?
So Krishna.
Okay. Absolutely. So this is a very, very crowded market, and you have a lot of guys who are already huge. Policy Bazaar is huge, Paisa Bazaar is huge, ET Money is huge, Paytm Money is huge, Zero Dha helps you to invest, it's huge. How the hell does Squirrel compete, right? So when you have a crowded market, it is not a good idea to get into head-on competition with these guys, right? So what do you do? What do you think Squirrel should have done?
So some new feature which makes
Something
it
unique
which
from other
makes it which
competitors.
attracts
Sir,
other people.
Squirrel should have attracted a new type of customer base that would have helped it to increase the market.
Okay, great.
It must have.
So
So I just want your names, please, because your faces I have not been able to see. Who just spoke?
Sohar there.
Sohar.
Yes, sir.
And who was the earlier guy? I think his name started with Y.
He was Yash Agarwal.
Okay, yeah, shut up. Okay, great.
what I think
So,
so is they should build a collaboration with so that they could like grab into the same market.
okay, wonderful. Who's that? Who spoke?
Krishna.
Sir,
Krishna,
they can
you've
also
answered a lot
target
of questions.
students as
Krishna,
they.
you answered a lot of questions, so I will send you one chocolate.
Thank you,
Okay?
sir.
And I can see Krishna smiling. His mustache is widened to about 6 inches now. So, yeah, so if you are in a crowded market, by the way, some people are waiting in the lobby. So I keep getting this message. Somebody will have to let them in.
I'll see to that, sir. I'll see to that.
Just let them in. Okay. So, what you need to do then is, so let me take the example of Squirrel now. It's a very, very crowded market, right? But what they realized was young people in the age group of about 18 to 25, people in college or people who are in their first job, right? They don't buy insurance. They normally don't take loans. Well, very, very rarely. They do not do financial planning. They don't do tax planning, right? They don't do any of these things. So that market, none of these big competitors have tapped, and they're not even interested because the value is very, very tiny, right? So Squirrel said, okay, wonderful. That is an untapped subset of this large crowded market, and therefore I will tap that. So what they did was they said, okay, we will identify a large enough non-crowded niche. And that large enough non-crowded niche is what? Young people amongst the middle class, right? And that itself is about what, 10 crore people? It's a huge market. And as these people grow, as they become older and older, the amount they save, the amount they invest, the amount of loan they take will keep increasing. But by then, they're happy with Squirrel, hopefully, and therefore they continue, right? So this was their strategy, which is identify a large enough non-crowded subset or niche. And that's why I have the fourth component of persistent, which is niche. Okay. So now let's take a look at one more issue. Let's look at scalability. And you have to tell me how is scalability different from size of the market?
The scalability.
Maybe in terms of
Yeah, can we have one person, please? I think Krishna had started speaking. Yeah, Krishna, tell me.
maybe in terms of like the revenues, generating revenues from uh, the customers who are there, the acquisition and the retention. And
Yes. You're
Sir,
right, but that's a slightly, it's not a complete answer. Yeah, somebody else.
Sir,
size might be fixed. The size
Sorry?
might be
yes, sir.
fixed, but scale depends like how we can extend it with the due time.
Scalability is like covering the market size which you have decided earlier. Like
Okay.
if there is an stair, then stair is the market, and the process of your climbing your steps is the scalability.
हाँ यार ये तो बहुत poetic है. कौन है? What's your name?
Gaurav.
बहुत poetic है यार गौरव. तेरे को भी chocolate मिल रही है. Okay, good. So, size of the market tells you how big the market is. Scalability tells you how rapidly you can grow within that market. So, I will just add one point to Gaurav's very poetic comment. not just climbing the stairs, but how fast you can climb the stairs. Okay, tell me, why is this important? Why is this so important?
So this is
Sir,
important to see the growth, possible growth of the product that we are introducing in the market, and perhaps set up a brand name in that market.
Okay,
yeah, you
wonderful.
have to cover that.
Hold on.
So
First,
otherwise, some other competitors will come there.
wait. I think we have to set a few rules. Before you speak, just give me your name. Okay, Yahoo
Sir,
spoke.
Soharde Chatterjee, sir.
What's your full name? Sohar?
Chatterjee.
Sohar. Okay. Yeah. Now somebody else. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
yes, sir. So we have to do it fast, but otherwise,
name,
some
name,
other
name,
competitors.
name.
So Mridul.
Bridul. Yeah. We have
So
to.
otherwise, some other competitors will be there.
बहुत बढ़िया. Mridul chocolate. बहुत बढ़िया. So yes,
Okay, sir.
absolutely. You know, you must remember, what does the Prime Minister keep saying? मेरे 125 नहीं, अब तो 130 करोड़, sorry, 135 करोड़ देशवासी, right? There are so many guys. You're not the only guy with a bright idea. Please, there are lots of them. If you don't grow fast, the other guy may grow faster than you, eat into your market share, take away your customers, and therefore kill you, right? So it's very, very important to grow rapidly in the startup space, and that's what we call scalability, right? Now, my fundamental question to you guys is, sorry, just 1 minute. How scalable is Squirrel, and why? Is it scalable? Is it not scalable, and why?
Sir, it is scalable.
I didn't hear you. Name.
Sir, I'm Arvind. Sir, Arvind.
Okay.
Sir, it is scalable because like once the target audience is young middle class youngsters, so once they start saving the money, so like it gradually becomes a habit for them, like so that they can use it more, and then audience will increase. Because if for example someone is doing in college, then he can suggest his friends, and also once the saving becomes habit without putting much effort, then I guess it's more scalable.
Okay, okay, I accept that. There's another big reason why it is scalable.
So startups are actually very scalable because the huge industries they find it very difficult to introduce something new to their established network. But
Interesting.
startups can very easily scale and introduce new features into them. Like they
Okay.
can explore new technologies like cryptocurrency, or they can move to other new coming technologies.
Okay. Sorry, I forgot your name. What's your name?
Sir Muskan.
The flexibility and the niche in that sector.
That is your what?
So,
Yeah.
Gaurav.
Gaurav. Okay. Yeah.
sir,
So let me just hold on. Let me just give you a parallel, right? Suppose you look at Infosys when it was a tiny startup, let's say 2 years after it started, and you look at Squirrel. Squirrel is about 4 years old today. So let's look at Infosys when it was 4 years old, right? Which of them is more scalable and why?
Squirrel, obviously. Krishna this side.
Okay, why?
Because Infosys has captured, like it has been in the market from quite a long time, and it has captured the
Boss,
audience.
I'm taking away one piece of the chocolate I gave you. I told you
Okay.
Infosys when it was 4 years old compared to
Okay,
Squirrel.
sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody else?
Sir, I would like to go with Infosys because, sir, at the time the all around atmosphere was towards moving computer science, and the world want to explore that side.
No, okay. So let's assume it is Infosys today after 4 years. Give them a level playing field. Let's assume they are in a similar environment. Which is more scalable and why?
Sir Soharde this side, I believe Infosys still would have been more scalable because the of the services type of services it provides is a direct form of service rather than indirect form of service as provided by Squirrel.
Okay, good. So I like the fact that you guys are thinking. However, I have a slight disagreement with what you're saying, and I'll tell you why. Right? Look at Infosys. Infosys is a manpower dependent business. Correct? So if Infosys has, let's say, 200 people, 300 people, and they want to increase their revenues, let's say 5 times in 2 years, right? They have to add 5 times the number of people, isn't it? Some of these people will also leave. All of them will have to be trained. They have to add 5 times the number of buildings, infrastructure, computers, etc., 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 right? Not easy. Takes a hell of a lot of capital, right? Because it's a manpower and infrastructure dependent business. On the other hand, when you look at Squirrel, it is a pure digital business. And pure digital businesses are not manpower dependent. They're not infrastructure dependent. All you have to do is you spend more on marketing. Wonderful. You spend more on marketing, you get more customers. Maybe you'll have to spend more to pay for whichever cloud service you are hosting your server on. That's all, right? So digital businesses are beautifully scalable, whereas manpower dependent businesses are much less scalable, right? So Squirrel is a very highly scalable business. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay. Next issue.
Yes.
Next issue. Risks.
Sir, can I just quickly add something?
Yeah, sure, sure.
Yeah, so Infosys also
No,
is
you
an
can only
I.
add by giving me your name.
Okay, it's Astos here. So the way I see it, Squirrel is for everybody since financial, finance or investing is for everybody. So the market size is bigger than that of Infosys because Infosys is particularly targeting in IT.
Okay, interesting. Interesting comment. However, that doesn't refer to scalability, that refers to size of the market, isn't it? Right?
Yeah, okay.
So, size of the market tells you how big it is, scalable is how fast can you grow with it. Okay?
Sir, I also want to add one thing. This is Yash. Sir, also the targeted audience, I feel the means targeting the young people is generally more easy since Squirrel is targeting the young Indian people, so I feel it is easy to grow for
Okay,
them.
good, good. I think it's a good comment. So, if you had something which is targeting, let's say, 50-year-olds or 60-year-olds, Squirrel is likely to grow faster. Yes, I accept that. Good, good point. Okay. So, next issue I want to talk about is risks, right? And every business has risks. You're aware of the fact that all businesses have risks, right? And one of the biggest risks is the risk of competition coming in. Competition coming in and potentially taking away your customers and killing your business, right? So what you need ideally is something that I call an entry barrier. Entry barrier means what? This is my business. Can you see my face? Can you see what I'm doing? Yeah. So this is my
Yes.
business,
Yes, sir.
right? This is my competitor. I want to prevent my competitor from entering my business and taking away my customers, right? Taking away my market share, which means I will do something. I will do something in my business to create a barrier which prevents my competitor from entering. Okay, and that's called an entry barrier. So if you have a very highly innovative solution, for example, if you have a patent, right, that's a great entry barrier, right? Because patents even legally cannot be copied. Agreed? What I want to check with you guys is what is the kind of entry barrier Squirrel has? Is it a great entry barrier? Is it a poor, a weak entry barrier?
Poor entry barrier. Spinny just got into
It's
the
a
market.
poor,
It's poor
poor,
entry
sir.
Yeah.
barrier.
Let Krishna finish first. Yeah. Why?
Spinny also got into the market, and it is, I think, working on it. So they haven't created any entry barrier yet.
Yeah. Okay. Valid. Anybody else? Why is it a poor entry barrier?
Because the technology that they are using can be produced by any other engineers also, and India is a
Gaurav, is it?
yes, sir.
Yeah. See, now I can recognize your face. बहुत बढ़िया. And by the way, I am very happy that you guys are you're awake. You're awake. शाम का time है. I mean, attendance is not compulsory, and yet you guys are interacting. Very good. Okay. Yeah. So the point is, it's very easy for somebody else to copy. Very, very easy. Set up a website, create an app. App will take you what 2 months, 3 months to develop and start, right? But over time, brand becomes an entry barrier. Trust becomes an entry barrier. I'll give you a very simple example. Very, very simple example. Look at Maggi noodles. Suppose ITC or Hindustan Lever or any other food company, Dabur, comes out with noodles which taste exactly the same as Maggi. Right? They are not likely to be able to eat into Maggi share because Maggi is known, Maggi is a brand. Kids will ask for Maggi. Kids don't ask for noodles. Kids ask for Maggi. It's become a brand, right? So, brand trust, large number of people who are taking your product, accepting your product, that becomes a bit of an entry barrier, although it is still not significant because it can still be copied, right? So, big reason for Squirrel to scale up rapidly. And incidentally, entry barrier is something which normally builds up over time. Okay, so I've talked about 8 of these things, and I'll talk about 2 more. Teams, right? Now, teams are obviously team is very, very important. In fact, and the team starts with the founder. So one of the things we say in our startup industry is if you have a great business model but an average team, it will fail. But if you have an average business model but a great team starting with the founders, they will figure out a way to make it succeed. And I have lots of cases where I've seen, people who have great founders, they have made the business work. Finally, what's the final proof? You may have a great earnings model, wonderful innovation, huge market, scalable, great entry barrier, wonderful team, etc., etc. But what's the final proof?
Sir Ishan, implementation, sir.
Absolutely, implementation, and I will put that in very, very simple, crude terms. धंधा कहाँ है?
Sir, teamwork, sir.
Ultimate proof क्या है? Teamwork नहीं है. Teamwork will lead to
Revenue.
what? Revenue. Hopefully profits, number of customers, growth in revenue month on month, right? So traction is the final piece, which is everything may be great, but ultimately what is important is all this leading to growth in revenues, growth in customers, growth in hopefully at some stage profits. Okay, so that's the persistent framework. And if you see, if you take the first letter of each of these, that takes you to this word persistent, right? I just want to add one more thing, which is persistent is also an English word, right? And persistent means what? Keep on and on and on and on at it, right? Because, when you're creating a business, when you're creating a startup, lots of things go wrong. Look at the last 1 year, everything went wrong, right? Because of COVID. You got to keep on at it. And if you don't keep on at it, that's the end of the startup. If you do keep on at it, hopefully at some stage things start picking up again. Okay. So so that's the first part, which is the Squirrel story and the framework. What I'll do is I'll quickly stop sharing. Hold on. Yeah. Okay. If you have any questions, please ask. Otherwise, I will go on to the second part. Just give me 5 seconds. Yeah. Tell me, any question? Otherwise, I'll go on to the second part.
Hello. Yes, sir. I'm Tarun.
Yeah, Tarun.
Sir, in today's highly competitive market, is first comers advantage still like viable? Like still we can get the first comers advantage.
Wonderful. Can you show me your face first?
Yes, sir. Second. Yeah.
Tarun, where is Tarun? I can't see his face.
Sir, am I still not visible? Yes, sir. Here I am.
Where are you? Tarun, I can't see Tarun.
Yes.
हाँ यार हाथ उठा दे. ठीक है.
Yes.
So very good comment. Tarun, you also get 1 chocolate. कौन सा चाहिए?
Sir, KitKat.
सबसे सस्ता है वो. चल ठीक है ले ले.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So first use mover advantage has advantages, it also has disadvantages, right? Let me give you one very simple example. If you have, by the way, you guys are engineering students, is it? All of you?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Interesting. So this I normally get this question from MBA students. Anyway, so let's say you manufacture a new brand of jam, right? Some new brand of jam. Let's call it Tarun Jam. People are aware of the fact that jam is normally used at breakfast time. It is used with toast, right? So that portion you don't have to sell, right? What you have to sell is, boss, my jam is tastier, is better, is healthier, more natural than other jams, more healthier than, let's say, Kisan or Druk or Dippies or whatever, right? On the other hand, if you go into a country where they have no idea what the hell a jam is, they have no idea, right? You have to first educate them. Boss, breakfast के time क्या खाते हो? Bread खाते हो? उसके साथ ये खा लो. अच्छा, I have never tried it. You have to educate them. So, if you're a first mover, you have to do your selling is in two steps. Step one is where you have to sell the concept, and step two is where you sell your brand, right? So it's a much more expensive process. However, the advantage you have is that there is nobody eating away at your backside saying, boss, I'm going to kill you. There's no competition, right? So it's a positive, it's a negative. I would say if you're a first mover and you have enough funds, it's a very good thing. Otherwise, first mover, in place of first mover, I would say early mover is a good idea. Meaning, let somebody else spend the money to create the market and then you jump in. That's probably a better idea. Is that okay, Tarun? Yeah?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So what I will do now is I will share. Yeah, somebody had a question.
So
Somebody
I have a question.
Yeah. Who's that?
Krishna.
Who's that? Krishna. That's a good idea. Raise your hands. Yeah. Krishna, you're very
Yeah,
tiny.
so actually, okay, yeah, the virtual hand is quite tiny. So yeah, so I wanted to ask that like how to disrupt a brand who has already built a trust, like yeah, for example, like compared to Practo, like if I'm into healthcare and I want to, like Practo has built a trust in people, but I want to disrupt that, I want to get into the market. So how do I completely change the mindset of people?
Okay, good question. Chocolate for you. See, that's not easy. That's not easy because Practo, you must remember, is not only a brand. The reason why they have a very strong entry barrier is not just because it's a brand, it is because of what we call the network effect. I don't know if you guys know what the network effect is. See, you take an example of, let's say, WhatsApp or Facebook. Take Facebook, right? Most young people are on Facebook, right? Now, suppose somebody creates another social media platform, right, which is far better than Facebook, far better. In fact, there are many which are far better than Facebook and WhatsApp. Will you join them? You probably won't. Why? Because your friends are on Facebook, right? That's what is called the network effect. The larger the number of people who are already using it, the more the benefit for the next guy who joins in, correct? So the reason why people use WhatsApp is that everybody is using WhatsApp. ठीक है boss, if I'm on WhatsApp, I know all my friends I can communicate with. Similarly, Practo, the reason why you go on to Practo is that they already have lots of doctors, lots of hospitals, all kinds of medicines, etc., etc. A new guy may not have all those. Plus, they don't have a brand. So it's not very easy to fight with somebody who's already established, huge, has a brand and has a strong network effect. The only way you can do it is by offering something which is different. It has to be different, right? The other possible way, obviously, is if you can give a very solid discount initially. But the problem there is, the big guy, they have far more discounting ability than you have, right? So if you're trying to fight with, let's say, Mukesh Ambani, is anybody here planning to fight with Mukesh Ambani? Anyone? No? I can see Brajesh shaking his head violently. नहीं नहीं बिल्कुल. See, if you try to fight with him and say, boss, तू 50% discount देता, मैं 60% दूंगा. Mukesh Ambani will kill you. He'll give everything for free, right? So discounting with as a kind of competition to big brands, big established players doesn't work. The only way is either you go into a subset like Squirrel went, right? Or you offer something which is significantly different. In which case, yes, then people say, okay, this seems to be different. It seems to make sense, and I'll go ahead.
Sir, but I would like to ask one add-on question here. If the competitor we are competing against is a very huge institution, then it may adapt our the new features that we are offering and offer the same. So how would a newcomer compete in that situation?
So good comment. Good comment. So by the way, I'll probably come to that in my second half. You're right. What you have to do is, see, first of all, when you start, please remember, if you're offering something different, you're starting small, right, compared to that big guy. And if you're starting small, he is right now not interested in your, the market for the small thing. He's not interested, right? He's big. However, over time, as you grow, he suddenly starts noticing and says, boss, ye bhi dhanda acha hai. I want to get into this, right? Now he has two choices. Choice one is he will build up whatever you have built up from scratch. Choice two is he says, okay, Sohardya, I will offer you what 50 crores, I will buy you out. Or I will take 30% stake in your company, 30% equity share in your company. You keep running the company, you are my subsidiary. Okay, so you're right. Whatever you do, potentially the big guy can do. When I talk about entry barrier, I basically am saying that it should be tough for the other guy to enter, which means if he does want to enter, he has the option of buying you out, and which is great. You made money, right? And that's the way a lot of small guys have made money, by being bought out by people. For example, Mukesh Ambani, I don't know if you know, he has bought out a lot of companies. He has bought out one company called Savan, right? Savan, it's like Ghana, right? It's a music streaming app. Why? Because he wants to offer lots and lots of things on his Jio platform. And he says, wonderful, rather than creating a music streaming app from scratch and from scratch building all and bringing in all songs, I'll just buy out Savan, right? So that's a very, very common method. Is that okay? Okay, so let me just take the second.
Sir, excuse me.
Yeah, sure.
So one more question I had, so like we had this talk, right? That the big business guy can come up and he can disrupt the market. So, but in some countries we see that the government won't allow such companies to come and just spoil the market. Like they don't want the complete dominance. So, sir, like we saw, like Jio, they came in the market and they reduced the net rates to such a low cost. No, like it's very cheap in India right now. So, sir, is it good for companies to come and disturb the market, or should the government intervene and it should like keep it healthy? Like the competition should be healthy.
Okay, so you're asking me a policy decision. You should actually ask Prime Minister Modi that question, or maybe Joe Biden. But anyway, I'll give you my views, right? So first of all, that normally happens at a very, 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 very huge scale. Okay, so if you remember, there used to be a company called AT&T, which was a mammoth. It was a giant in the field of telecommunication, in the field of telephony, right, in the US. And the reason why the government then comes in and says, look, you cannot be so huge because then you become a monopoly is, when you become a monopoly, you can start dictating to the market. So, for example, today, Microsoft Windows is probably a monopoly because almost all computers, all laptops, all desktops run Windows. There are very, very few laptops which run Unix or Linux. There are a few laptops which run, the Apple operating system. So Windows is almost a monopoly. The problem is when you have a monopoly, effectively you can take the user for a ride because he has no choice. right? So which is why the government chips in and says, okay, I do not want monopolies to happen. In the case of Mukesh Ambani, it's not a monopoly because he is in a market where you still have four big players, right? So there is Jio, which is the biggest today. There is Airtel, which is almost as big. There is Vodafone Idea, which is now picking up once again. And I don't know if you're aware of this public sector company, BSNL. So many, non-metros, BSNL is the preferred option, right? So it's not a monopoly. But if Jio tends to become a monopoly, you will have something in India. You have something called MRTPC, Monopolies and Restrictive Trade Practices Commission, right? That's a government body. They will then chip in. They will say, okay, we think you're a monopoly and you're misusing your monopoly status, and therefore we have to put a stop to it. So that happens, and the reason why that happens is otherwise, it's like you've taken control over the user, which is not fair. All right.
Right,
okay.
Sir.
So let me now share. Just hold on. And I like you guys' questions, by the way. I mean, it is also making me think. So can you see this now? My screen?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Vivek, you had promised me chai. Tune dini. I'm feeling thirsty already. Hey, just give me a minute. Okay. So now I'll talk about actual funding. Okay, and again, this is picked up from the book. And by the way, this is the book, what I've shown you here. So I will talk about funding, meaning getting somebody to buy shares in your company. Okay. So, when you're looking for money, the first place where you will normally look for money is your friends and your family, right? Your girlfriend, boyfriend, mama, chacha, father, mother, dada, pardada, etc., 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 right? Now, important thing is these people know you, and because they know you, what does that mean? They will not ask too many questions. Yeah? They will not need too many details of the business. So, for example, they might tell you, "Yaar, tu bilkul nalayak hai, nikamma hai." Just hold on, some. बिल्कुल निकम्मा है, नलायक है, etc., etc. But कोई बात नहीं यार, अपना बच्चा है, चल 2 लाख ले ले. Okay? So they don't ask too many questions. They will not look for, your business plan, your projections, valuation. नहीं ठीक है, पैसे ले ले, right? But they will give very small amounts at a very early stage, maybe at the idea stage. Okay? Then the next category is what I call angel investors. Okay. Now I want somebody to tell me what's an angel investor, who's an angel investor, and why.
Somebody who comes to buy stakes at a company and invest in a company at very first place, like not very first place, after you have gathered some money and you have actually collected some data points to validate your idea and to get into the market and get a little amount of transaction.
Okay, great, wonderful. So yes, why are they called angels? So anyway, Krishna, the one piece of chocolate I took back, I'm giving it back to you.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. So why are they called angels?
So because they are called angels because they provide their fund to the small startups, and they act like angels to them because of that.
Okay, wonderful. Who said that?
Sir Muskan.
Oh, so yes, you're absolutely right. So angels, when you're in trouble, when you need help, and nobody is willing to help you, because remember, these are very early stage companies, very, very risky to invest in them. 8 out of 10 companies at this stage may collapse, and therefore the investor loses his money, right? So when you are very risky, when nobody wants to help you, who comes to help you? Angel, right? Which is why these guys are called angel investors. Okay, so these are the first external investors in your company, which means they don't know you. Okay, unlike your chacha and mama who know you, because they don't know you, they will need far more details about your startup to be convinced. Right? So they will maybe talk to your customers. They will look at your product in detail. They will, um, um, they will look at the revenues you have got so far, etc., etc. Right? After this, they will put in money, but they will put in more money than your family and friends. Okay? Now, fundamental question: what do angels look for? Before putting in money, before investing, what do angels look for?
The scalability
Sir,
of
they
the
get
startup.
the
Returns.
So one by one, who said scalability?
Sir, Sohar
Okay, yes, agreed. What else?
The
Sir,
potential
idea and the team.
Idea and the team. Who said that?
Sir Ujjwal.
Ujjwal. Okay,
Yes, sir.
yes. Who
And
else?
how large the market is?
How large the
Size
market
of
is? Who
market.
said that?
Rishabh Pandey.
Sorry,
Rishabh Pandey.
Rishabh. Okay, yeah.
So
Who
traction.
else?
Is it profitable or not?
So
Okay.
So
wait,
money is the
traction.
biggest factor.
Yeah, 1 minute. Most startups, unfortunately, are not profitable, but yes, I mean, if it is, it's great. It's wonderful. Yeah.
So all the qualities of that persistent,
What?
because they also want that the startup to be successful.
Correct. What's your name?
So Shreyansh,
रेयांश. बहुत बढ़िया.
Shreyansh.
रेयांश, तूने मेरी स्लाइड देखी हुई है?
नहीं सर,
नहीं
पहली बार ही देखा.
पहली बार. Absolutely, what Shreyansh is saying is absolutely correct. ठीक है ना? So, you must remember the investor and the founder ultimately want the same thing. They want a company which is operating in a large market, scalable, has a strong entry barrier, has a good earnings model, has achieved traction. So they want exactly the same thing. So both of them want persistence, right? So, when you're making your pitch in your B plan competition, I'm assuming some of you at least are making a pitch. Remember, this is what investors look for. Okay. I want to talk about something called angel networks. Anyone? What does this mean? What's an angel network?
So a group of angels who come forth to invest in various startups.
Okay, great.
it would
Wonderful. Yes.
A network of
Anybody
angel
else?
investors.
यार वो तो तुमने दोनों वर्ड्स को उल्टा कर दिया बस. एंजल नेटवर्क इज अ नेटवर्क ऑफ एंजल ऑब्वियसली यार. अभी थोड़ा एक्सप्लेन करो. व्हाई डू यू नीड अ नेटवर्क?
So the contacts and they can widespread the product, like
okay,
they know the people who can.
So name.
Hello.
Yeah, name.
Sir, they can help us to collaborate with other startups for our betterment.
Okay. Yes.
So they could invest a substantially more amount of money if they are in a group, like rather than a single person.
Wonderful. Who said that?
Tarun.
Oh, great. So yes, you're absolutely right. Let me just take you back in time. In the, let's say about 20 years back, there were only a few rich angels in the country. Okay, maybe about 500 of them. Right? And who are these rich angels? Narayan Murthy. Who else? Azim Premji, Anand Mahindra, right? Kumar Mangalam Birla. Who else? Sohardia, Ishan, Krishna, Shreyansh, right? Real rich guys. Okay. Now, the important thing is these rich guys had their own analysts, lawyers, accountants, and therefore they had the entire team that would evaluate startups to invest in. ठीक है? तो no problem, invest कर देंगे. अब क्या हो गया? If you look at the last 10 years, startups have become a booming word, a real sexy word. Arey boss, 42, sorry, today it will be about 50 unicorns. What's a unicorn?
Sir, $1 billion worth.
Absolutely, $1 billion valuation, right? So everybody says, boss, there are 50 of them. I also want to invest in one such unicorn. Therefore, a lot of people who are not super rich have now become angels, angel investors, right? And today there are about 25, 30,000 of these people. And they are not super rich. I will call them Aam Aadmi angel investors, Aam Aadmi angels. Okay. I want to clarify one thing here. This has absolutely nothing to do with what? It has absolutely nothing to do with what? Mr. Kejriwal's Aam Aadmi Party. No connection. This is not a political presentation, right? Aam Aadmi Angel means basically what? Common man angel. I am an Aam Aadmi Angel. I was a professor for 20 years. Before that, I worked in a job for 20 years. I cannot possibly be as rich as Azim Premji or Mukesh Ambani or one of these guys. But I want to invest. I'm an angel investor. So, अब problem क्या है? The Aam Aadmi Angel is not super rich. I do not have my own accountants, analysts, or lawyers. Therefore, I need support. Who provides the support? Angel Network. Okay. So Angel Network is what? It's an organization. Okay? So it's like a club. For example, you have the Delhi Gymkhana Club, right? Or the Cricket Club of India, right? So it's an organization which has members, and its members are all angel investors. So for example, one of the major angel networks in the country is called Lead Angels Network. I am a part of Lead Angels. Okay. So an angel network will have members, and Lead Angels has about, I think, 200 odd members. All of them are angel investors. So what Lead Angels will do is it will bring in potential startups who want funding. It will bring them in. It will then it will evaluate them. It will help the members to evaluate them, put them up for possible funding, and then the members decide which ones they want to invest in. Right? So basically, it is helping to support both investors and startups by getting funding done. Okay, so that's an angel network, and because of it's an angel network, you have potentially multiple people, maybe 20, 30 angels investing in the same startup. As against earlier, your Ratan Tata, Nandan Nilekani, etc., and they would invest on their own. Okay? Okay, then I want to introduce one more term, and this term is called venture capitalist or VC. Tell me, is there a fundamental difference between angels and VCs?
Yes, sir. So angels provide pre-seed funding and sir VCs provide seed funding.
Sorry, angels provide seed funding, VCs provide seed funding.
No, sir. Sir, angel provides pre-seed funding.
Oh, pre-seed. Okay. Okay,
sir,
interesting. Interesting. Who said that?
Sir, Mohammed Taha.
Yeah, but so you're right. That is not the fundamental difference. You're right. You're absolutely right. But there is a more basic difference between these two. What is that?
VC is like it's a venture, like the name suggests. It's a venture. It's a company who invests like safe capitals or.
Okay.
So like angel investors, they go for startups like which are at a smaller scale right now. However, the venture capitalists, they go for established companies, or they see where they can expect high returns, or there's a high rate of potential. There's a high potential growth rate. They expect that in return.
Okay. Actually, all investors expect high growth rate and high returns. All of them.
Sir, I think angel investor invest their like own money, and then I guess venture capitalists they are part of one company.
Wonderful.
Firms.
Who said that?
Sir, Arvind.
Arvind. Okay. Wonderful. Arvind, why is your DP saying SN? Who's S?
Sir, it's my full name. Sir, Sai Ratna Arvind.
Sai. Oh, okay. But you don't like your full name. That's why you only say Arvind.
Sir, no.
That's okay. Okay. So, yes, absolutely right. Wonderful. You get 2 chocolates. I have Vivek is the coordinator. I have given a full carton of chocolates to Vivek. Just pick it up from him. Just make sure he doesn't eat them.
Okay, sir. I'll just DM you my address.
अरे भेज दिया यार मैंने कब का भेज दिया
नहीं मिला सर
आ गया यार तो डंडों से पूछो मैंने भेजा okay anyway so yeah absolutely right it is a little like investing directly in the stock market versus investing in mutual funds, right? So an angel investor says, okay, I know which company I want to invest in, and I am very comfortable investing directly. So I will put 5 lakhs into Byju's, or I'll put 6 lakhs into Grofers, right? But there are a lot of investors who say, I want to invest in startups, but I don't know how. And it's very risky, so I want to leave it to an expert. So they go to a VC or a venture capitalist. The venture capitalist has a fund. And this guy, the investor, says, okay, boss, I will give you my money. I will give you my money. You decide where it should be invested. So it's like giving money to a mutual fund manager. Correct? So the VC or the venture capitalist invests money on behalf of somebody else, whereas the angel invests his own money. Okay? Now tell me, because of this, obviously, VCs take less risk, isn't it? Why?
There is an
They are not spending their
They are
money.
investing their own money.
Somebody else's money. If they take very heavy risk, right? Then it doesn't work out. They lose money. That is the end of their business. Nobody will give them money in the future, right? But if it's my own money, ठीक है यार, मैंने डाल दिया 5 लाख, चला गया, I don't care. Well, I do care, but ठीक है यार, I mean, it's my mistake. Okay. So now tell me, therefore, would VCs invest at an earlier stage or a later stage compared to angels?
The later stage.
Sir, later stage.
बहुत बढ़िया. Who said that?
Ishan.
Sorry? Yeah, I can see one person. Who's that? With specs?
Yes.
Yeah, correct. You. What's your name?
Gaurav.
Okay. So there are 2 Gauravs here, is it? Only one Gaurav.
I'm only.
2 ही है. अच्छा इतना
Yes,
unique.
sir.
Okay, चल ठीक. Okay, ठीक है, बहुत बढ़िया. So the VC therefore invests at a later stage, by which time hopefully the business is a little more stable, little more proven. I'm not saying it is not risky. Sure, it's a risky. Because, you know, when you're investing in a startup, even when you're investing in, let's say, a huge company like Reliance, it is still risky, right? But it is less risky than investing at an early stage. Okay. They'll do a hell of a lot more evaluation of the company, but they put in more money. Okay. Now tell me, what do VCs look for?
So stability, like profits also. Stability and profits.
Profits.
So
Yeah,
the growth and revenue, I think.
most startups are not profitable.
So ROI.
ROI,
Metrics.
Yeah.
potentially ROI, yes. Yes.
Sir,
So the interest rate, they look for the they ask for the simple interest rates that you this much.
No. Correct.
And
Who
it's,
said that? Who said that?
sir, yeah.
Yes. यार ऐसा है, interest rates 5% होते हैं. VC looks for 30% returns. तो interest rate से उसका कोई लेना देना नहीं है. इंटरेस्ट रेट कौन देखता है? रिटायर्ड आदमी के बॉस मेरे को फिक्स डिपॉजिट में 6% मिल रहा है, उस पर भी टैक्स देना पड़ रहा है. VC looks for much higher return. What do they look for? Tell me.
Sir, the same persistent framework.
बहुत बढ़िया. Who said that?
Growth.
Tarun.
Gross income, gross.
Sorry, who said that?
Somin.
Sir, Tarun. Yeah.
Tarun. Okay, wonderful. So VCs look for exactly the same persistent framework that the angel looks for. Right? So, you know, ultimately all investors look for exactly the same thing. मुझे पैसा बनाना है. I want it to grow. I want it to beat the hell out of competition. And ultimately I want to make money. I want to get an exit. Exit meaning I sell my shares to somebody else at a profit. Right? Okay. Then I will talk about one more category of investor. Interesting category. It's called a strategic investor. What is this? Anybody?
I could
So
guess.
maybe those who will examine the company and will see, like, you know, at this stage of the company, how much we should invest, and if in the future it's having some more profits, or, you know, it's showing more improvement, we can invest more. Like it will examine completely and then strategize the investment.
That's an interesting thought, but that's not really correct because everybody does that. I mean,
it could
Sir,
be like
they help others to invest money, sir.
वो
They
तो
invest others' money.
वो तो VC हो गया ना. अच्छा, you're saying advisor.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
that's an advisor. No, no, strategic investors are different. It's a little different.
Sir, anyone can make a mistake. So the strategic investor, I think they are the people who invest their money and also act as an advisor to the company.
Okay, so you are getting Gaurav, right? Gaurav, you're getting closer. Yeah.
So maybe it is like they will try to like have the maximum like profits and the least of the loss. Like like अगर कोई loss होता भी है तो उतना नहीं होगा जितना होना चाहिए.
एक मिनट देवांश, वो तो सब चाहते हैं ना. Nobody wants to make a loss, isn't it?
Sir, maybe they invest in a particular project or something.
For what?
Sir, they also act as a consultant for the company.
To your,
Sir, they are on the board of advisors.
Okay, who
Board
said
of
that?
directors.
Sir,
Krishna.
they invest because they want to acquire the company at a later stage.
Who said that? Who said that?
Sir, Jay Pratap Singh.
Jay Pratap Singh. Wonderful.
Yes.
So, you're absolutely right. See, if you look at angel investors and VCs, they are financial investors. What does that mean? They ultimately want to sell their shares, which means exit and make money. Okay? Take another example. Suppose ICICI Bank invests in a microfinance startup. You know what microfinance is? Giving loans to rural women, normally in groups, right? Chota loans. 20,000, 15,000, sewing machine खरीदने के लिए, भैंस खरीदने के लिए, गाय खरीदने के लिए, etc. Right? So, if ICICI Bank invests in a microfinance startup, are they doing it to make an exit in 5 years or 4 years? Why are they investing?
They are investing, sir, trying to capture that market. First, the small.
बहुत बढ़िया, wonderful. So absolutely, Gaurav, not to sell their shares and exit because they say, hang on here, we give loans for tractors, we give loans for cars, for homes, for businesses, but हमने microfinance loan कभी दिया ही नहीं. It's a huge business. Rather than us getting directly into it, we will buy shares in a microfinance company. So that becomes a subsidiary. So therefore, it becomes an extension to my existing business. That's a strategic investor. They are not looking at exiting, right? So I gave you the example of Jio investing in Savan, right? That's a strategic investment because Jio believes that they want to offer multiple kinds of applications on their Jio network, and they think music streaming is going to be one of them. Therefore, they've invested in Savan. Okay? So that's a strategic investor. So just to summarize, the level of risk that is taken by friends and family is obviously the highest because it's the earliest stage, right? And it keeps coming down. What about the amount of investment? Goes up, comes down.
Just the opposite, sir.
Okay, perfect. And valuation, the price at which they buy shares?
Same.
Okay. Okay. So I want to talk about, I think this is probably the last slide. So, one of the very interesting things in our startup world is that people always talk in dollars, right? And I'll tell you why. So you may be running a company which is purely in India. Your funding may have been entirely taken up in rupees, but you will talk in dollars, right? So let's take an example why. Look at the example of Gaurav. So let's say Gaurav has raised 3.5 crores of funds, right? And he goes into a party where there are lots and lots of girls. Obviously, smile कर रहा है Gaurav. और भी ज़्यादा smile कर रहा है. शर्मा रहा है. अरे यार क्यों शर्मा रहा है यार? Okay, anyway. So now Gaurav obviously wants to impress these girls, right? So he goes there and very quietly he starts bragging. I just raised 3.5 crores. लड़कियां क्या करेंगी? They will turn around and walk away. But instead, if he were to say, I raised $500,000, what happens? All the girls pick up their drinks and start surrounding him. जीरो बन जाता है. Why? Because dollars are more, it's more glamorous. It's unfortunate, but it's more glamorous, right? So in our industry, unfortunately, people may be operating entirely in India. They may pick up only rupees, but they talk in millions. Oh, I raised half a mil. और आपको अगर पता नहीं half a mil क्या है तो you don't deserve to know anyway. ठीक है गौरव? So when you walk in like this, please talk in terms of half a mil, not in terms of कितने रुपए raise किए. ठीक है ना? I mean, if I would say from this entire session, that is the biggest learning. Okay, so angel funding normally is between 50 lakhs to about 3.5 crores, which is about $500,000. Then you have something called a pre-series A, Series A, Series B, Series C, Series F, Series G. But these are rough figures, ballpark figures. You can raise a Series C and it could be 20 million. There's no problem, right? But in general, this is what people say, ballpark. Okay, so with that, I come to the end of this second half, and just let me stop sharing 1 minute. I've stopped sharing, is that right?
Right,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yeah. Okay, great. So just give me 1 minute. Whew. Yes, now tell me, let's have questions in case you have them. Sai Ratna Arvind Nanduri. Oh,
Yes.
only 4 names. By the way, I can see your lips, but I can't see you above that. So you have to show your face. Now it's better. Now it's better. Yeah. Yeah, tell me. Any questions?
Yes, sir. I have a question.
Yeah. Who's that?
Krishna.
Krishna. Where is? I can see him. Yeah.
Yeah, so I just read an article like quite a few time back for YC. There was a tweet where someone claimed that YC is turning Indian startups into US entities, like by shifting their headquarters and like from gaining from their IPs. So, is it ethically right for the ecosystem?
Whether it is ethically right or not is a I mean, so basically, they want to grab a market. They want see, India is the third largest startup environment in the world after the US and China, right? And actually, if you look at it, the growth is really going to be in India and possibly China. China, of course, nobody knows, so nobody even talks about them, right? But US is a largely saturated market, whereas India is a huge developing market, right? Whether you look at healthcare, whether you look at agri-tech, whether you look at, you know, edutech and so on, right? So it's a huge market, a huge opportunity. One reason why, and it's not only YC, a lot of founders in any case want to uh, uh, have their headquarters in the US. And the reason for that is actually twofold. Number one, even as of now, the rules there, the norms there are simpler than they are in India. They're simpler, right? Number two, if you're looking at large amounts of American funding, dollar funding, they are more likely to invest in companies which are headquartered in the US rather than those which are legal entities in India. So that's happening. It is happening in some cases, but I don't think it's a very common phenomenon. It's happening in some cases. Whether that is ethically right or not, I mean, that's a very debatable question. For example, is it ethically right for Mukesh Ambani to take away Airtel's customers? I mean, it's the same kind of question, isn't it? See, ultimately, the world is borderless, boundaryless, right? The US guys, if they feel, look, we will move an Indian company into the US and we'll invest in them, make them grow. That's a business decision. Okay. I would say if the Indian government were to change policies and make them simpler, by the way, they're already a lot simpler. So in fact, I think the Indian government is doing a hell of a lot to try and make things much, much simpler right now. But there is still a way to go. So I think that's a business decision. I don't think ethics comes in. They're not using any, they're not using any hanky panky. By the way, YC, which Krishna referred to, is the full form is Y Combinator, which is actually probably the world's most famous accelerator program, which means they will help you to grow and they'll put in money. They'll fund you to some extent and they will help you to grow. Okay, other questions?
Sir, can you just elaborate more about the accelerators and incubators, like how they invest and something about that?
Okay. Who said that?
Tarun, sir, Tarun.
Tarun. Where is Tarun? I can't see him.
Sir.
Raise your hand. Okay. Okay. So, see, if you look at an incubator, let me talk about incubators first. If you look at a hospital, right, where babies are born, what is an incubator used for? You guys were born. Hopefully, you never went into an incubator. What do you think an incubator in hospital is used for?
It's in life support.
Giving
oxygen. It's in life
Yes.
support.
Yes, valid. So basically, babies who are not able to survive on their own because maybe they are premature or whatever, they cannot face the world yet. So they are put into a protective environment, which is called an incubator, right? Similarly, startups which need support in the beginning, for them, you have something called an incubator. Now, what is an incubator? For example, IIT Delhi has an incubator called FIT, F-I-T-T, and I'm sure your college will also have some incubator, right? Most engineering colleges will have incubators. So what will they do? They will give you space. So they will say, okay, at an early stage, you don't have revenue, you don't have money. We will give you space to sit. So it's like a co-working space. We will give you support in terms of maybe we'll make laptops available to you. Okay. And that space will be, AC, etc., coffee percolator, etc., all that will be available. On top of that, we will allow you to be here for 3 years, right? And during these 3 years, we will keep getting in mentors to mentor you and help you grow. Okay. And many incubators have also got some kind of grant from the government of India, and they say, okay, this grant in small amounts can be given to startups to help them survive, right? So in many ways, it is operating exactly the way an incubator in a hospital would, right? Except that these grants are normally very small. So you might get, let's say, 5 lakhs from an incubator. You may get a low interest loan of about 5 lakhs, right? But you will definitely not get 1 crore or 2 crores. Okay. So an incubator basically is a place which is, most of them are in engineering or MBA colleges, although you do have private incubators also, which help you at a very, very early stage to survive and grow. Okay. So that's an incubator. In today's COVID environment, all these guys are operating in virtual mode because they don't expect you to come and sit there, right? But even in virtual mode, they can support you. You are sitting at home, they can still give you grants, they can still give you mentorship, right? So that's an incubator. An accelerator comes in at a later stage when your business has proven itself, right? At that stage, the accelerator says, okay, now I will help you to grow rapidly, to accelerate your business. So it's like an incubator at a later stage, but much more short term. Normally, accelerators are about 3 to 6 months, and they will also give you money. Many of them will give you money, and they will bring in a lot of guys from industry, successful people, venture capitalists, etc., etc. And at the end of the program, they will bring in people who potentially can invest large amounts in your company. Incidentally, even in an incubator, they will normally bring in investors at the end. So incubator is very, very early stage, much slower, give you a lot of support. Accelerator is when you have to some extent proven your business, they make you grow rapidly, they make you accelerate. So that's the difference. Like I said, YC is the most famous accelerator worldwide. Incubators are there in all MBA colleges, most. So for example, IIM Ahmedabad has it, IIM Lucknow has it, IIM Bangalore has it, IIT Bombay, IIT Delhi, IIT Ropar, all these in fact, I would say I'm assuming your place also has an incubator, right? And it's a good idea to join an incubator because they help you to survive and stabilize. Is that okay, Tarun? Yeah. Okay.
Yes,
Other
sir.
questions? Yeah, Gaurav has raised his hand. Yeah, Gaurav, tell me.
Like for us at an early stage, we try to search for many problems in our environment, and sometimes we found that this is a problem. But later on, then we do research, we found that there is an early person who is doing the same thing. But as this process become repetitive in nature, like for the 10 or 5 ideas which you have think, they are already existing. So how should we take it? Like this should be a negative, like we are thinking in some, we should think differently, or we should think positive because like the process is gaining that into that way only.
So, देखो boss, ऐसा है. First of all, you must remember. You remember I talked about size of the market and niche market. You know, if you are trying to get into something where you already have large players, my strong recommendation and the recommendation of everybody else you talk to is don't try and compete because you can't compete with the big guys. You know, today if you want to get into, let's say, e-commerce and you want to compete with Amazon or Flipkart, I would say, pagal ho. क्यों कर रहे हो यार? I mean, you can't compete with them, right? But these guys can make a loss. They have no problem. Walmart will support Flipkart. Amazon will support Amazon, right? Mukesh Ambani will support Jio. So you can't compete, right? However, there are a lot of situations where, you know, you may have started or you may have thought of a business which uh, doesn't have a huge player but has some small players. That's not a problem. Because if you have small players in the business who are competing, please remember India, for example, is a huge market and somebody has to become a leader. Even in e-commerce today, you have 4 market leaders, right? Three and possibly 4. So Amazon, Flipkart, JioMart, and very soon Tata's, who have bought out a big basket, right? So very soon they will also be a major e-commerce player, right? Or if you look at, for instance, the taxi industry, right? You got Uber, you got Ola, you got 2 players, right? You look at, let's say, home delivery. You got Grofer, you got Big Basket, you got Milk Basket, you got a few other guys, right? So potentially, it is possible for several guys to survive, except if you are competing with those huge guys who you cannot compete, right? So I don't see that as a problem. However, you have to remember one thing, you have to be prepared to change direction if required. And most startups will change direction. And we call that pivoting. Okay. Most startups will have to change direction because, you know, you will try your business model. क्या हो गया गौरव को? गौरव उल्टा हो गया. गौरव क्या सो रहा है? ऐसे हो गया. What happened to गौरव? मैंने कोई गलत बात कह दी? So anyway. Okay. So you have to remember that changing the business model, changing direction will keep happening all the time, and you have to be prepared for that, right? Yes, it is good to be positive, but it is silly to be foolish, right? So before you start something, you must do your research. If it's a very highly competitive environment, if it's an environment where you know you have huge guys, doesn't make sense to get in. Try and do something where you either have small guys or it's something unique. But yes, obviously, very important to be positive. Okay, so I think Himanshu has the next question, and then I think Sohardia. Yeah, Himanshu, tell me.
Good evening, sir. I have actually two questions. The first one is, so what is the right timing to go to the funders? Like until we can bootstrap the startup. Like I'm in a startup for the past 3 years, and we are bootstrapping with some freelancing services or some kind of thing. So first thing is this. The second one is like there are some good person who fund your startup. They are angels, but there are some bad angels as well. So how can we distinguish between them?
Okay. So, okay, first of all, if you, by the way, most of these questions that you asked, You'll find lots of answers in my book in case you pick up my book, and 5 of you will get it anyway. So, first of all, I would say funding should be taken only if you need it. If you're taking funding only because everybody is talking about it, doesn't make sense, right? Initially, bootstrap, not an issue, but there are some situations where bootstrapping may not be feasible. For example, let us say you're running a B2C business. Now, B2C business normally has to spend a hell of a lot on marketing. Okay, you can pick up some funds on your own. You can pick up some funds from your mama, chacha, etc., etc. But it may not be enough to grow you to any reasonable stage, and therefore you will need money. So the key is you take funding when you need it. There is no hard and fast rule. You take money when you need it. Before that, if you can bootstrap and do it, wonderful. Just keep one thing in mind. If you are bootstrapping and growing slowly, the risk you run is other people get funds, grow much faster than you and kill you. Right? So when your product is proven and you need to grow rapidly, I think that's the best time to take funding. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, good angel versus bad angel. See, angel by definition is not bad. Angel is always good, right? Angel. But anyway, so normally, I'll tell you what a bad angel normally means. A bad angel is a person who keeps piling onto you, pressurizing you for short-term results. Okay. Fortunately, if you go to angel networks, the members of angel networks realize that look, investing in a startup is a very long-term idea, right? You will take 4 years, you will take 5 years, many of them will fail. Putting unnecessary pressure on the guy will only make it worse, right? So fortunately, if you go to an angel network and they have their members, usually you will only get the good angels, usually. So I don't see a problem. Where you will have a problem is, for example, there are people who've come to me, they've said, look, I'm getting 20 lakhs. I said, from whom? He says, this guy is running a shop in Chavdi Bazaar in Delhi. That's the wholesale market in Delhi, and he's putting in money. Now, Himanshu is smiling. So, by the way, I have nothing against Chavdi Bazaar. It's a very nice place, right? Don't go there during COVID time, but post-COVID, it's a very nice place. But I told him, boss, वो तेरे को पैसा दे रहा है 20 lakh. Every 20 days, he's going to ask you profit दिखाओ, profit दिखाओ, profit दिखाओ. You cannot operate in these environments, right? You have to be given freedom. So what I would say is, if you go to an angel network, typically the chances are you'll get good angels. But I mean, if you're unlucky, you may get a bad angel. But normally angels are not very heavily involved. So even if he piles on to you, he may pile on only once a quarter or once in 6 months. So normally, if you go to a network, it's not a problem. Okay. Okay. So I think there was Sahardya who asked a question,
Yes.
and I think then Tanmay.
Yes, sir.
And by the way,
So
hold on, what's the time now? Oh, okay. That's why I'm getting hungry. Okay. Yeah.
Sir, my question is, suppose we come up with an idea wherein it is to mainly collaborate with the big giants currently present in the market, or coming up with a business model or something that would help to save cost and help for the betterment of the models or firms that are already existing. Where should we be pitching our ideas? Should we go to an angel investor or directly contact with the firms that are interested?
यार ये बहुत hypothetical question है. Give me an example.
Sir, like for example, there are many, the logistics market, if I say, like the warehousing things, there are many innovations that are possible that could possibly save a lot of money for the transportation, and as a whole could be very profitable for and a new transporting agency or transporting startup could develop out of it. So but it requires the collaboration of giants, like we would be working for Amazon or somebody concerned like that. So should we go directly towards the Amazon and Flipkart, or the people who are involved with the warehousing things, logistic things, or should we go towards an angel investor who would then provide us with the things and then we would be working out?
Okay, so let me take two examples because I think hopefully that will clarify. There is no hard and fast rule, by the way. You could do either. So let me take two examples. If you are creating, let's say, technology, you're creating an app which helps in the logistics industry, right? And you have the confidence that you can run this business on your own, by all means, go to angel investors. And of course, you have to show some proof first, right? You have to show some traction before they're willing to invest in you. But once you do that, keep going. Amazon is too big, but you know, the smaller guys can become your clients, right? Dunzo can become your client or whatever, you know, Delivery can become your client, right? That's a possibility. So go to angels. Let me take another example. And of course, there could be many such examples, but I'm just taking one. Suppose you have created a new medical device, let's say a medical device which automatically takes blood pressure, okay, or a medical device which automatically measures your blood sugar, right? Now, the point is, since you're talking about health, most people would only want to go in for well-known trusted brands, right? When you start, you're a startup. You're not a trusted brand. You're unknown. People are unlikely to trust you. They will say, look, मैंने BP लेना, I might as well spend 200 rupees more and take a trusted brand like Omron or whatever, right? Why should I take this guy? So if you have a thing like this, then it is better to go to a big brand and say, boss, this is my product. I'll give you a revenue share, or you take 30% or 40% stake in my company. You do the branding, you do the marketing and distribution, you do the support. I will keep developing the product, right? Because on your own, you will not be able to crack that market till you have a huge brand supporting you, right? So there are multiple situations. I would say in some cases where you think you can be independent, you can market it independently, sure. Angel investing is probably the right way to go. But where you need the support and without that you cannot survive, yes, you will probably have to go to a big guy. Okay. Okay, so I think who was next? I think there was Gaurav. Let's take two more questions. So Gaurav and I think Tanmay. Right, that's it. Yeah. So Gaurav, where are you?
No, sir, my question was done.
Oh, okay, okay. ठीक है. One more
Earlier.
question. Tanmay.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah. आदमी नीचे.
Sir, I've often heard people say that having a good network is a really strong point if you're building a startup. So let's say I do have a 500 plus connection profile on LinkedIn, and so that's a pretty decent network. So now my question to you is, in case someone has that kind of network, how do we go about procuring the funding? Like, how does that help? How can I make use of it?
No. So first of all, it depends on who that network is. If it is friends of yours who are, let's say, you know, first year, second year, third year students, it doesn't help, right? It doesn't help. If your network is guys who are angel investors, sure, it helps. But normally it is not a good idea to approach people individually for the very simple reason. See, you have no idea who's an angel investor, who's not. You have no idea who funds, who doesn't, right? So the best way to do this is to approach a network, an angel network, not your LinkedIn network, an angel network. I told you about Lead Angel, that's one of the big ones. Indian Angel Network is probably the oldest and the biggest, right? Then you have Chennai Angels, I don't know, you may have Allahabad Angels, I don't know. You have Hyderabad Angels, right? So you have 7 or 8 of these large angel networks. Go to one or two of them. When you make a presentation to them, you automatically are exposed to all their members, right? So that's the way to look for funding rather than trying to look for individuals. Unless, of course, you happen to be in Mukesh Ambani's family, then of course you talk to Mukesh Ambani. And unfortunately, his daughter is already married now. Otherwise, you had a chance.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Let's have one last question. I think there was one guy who raised his hand. Tarun, I think. Tarun, is it Tarun or somebody else?
Yes, sir. I have a question. Like a lot of questions were asked to you just now, and you came up with instantaneous answers. Like even when we pitch questions, when we pitch some idea, at that time also investors could ask some instantaneous, like some questions at that time. So how to come up with instantaneous answers? Like,
Yeah,
is there some?
Ek minute. You must realize one thing. I am about 3 times your age. Yeah. I was a college student like you guys at IIT Delhi, but that was when? That was I passed out in 1977. ठीक है? कितने साल हो गए? 40 साल.
Yes,
right? तुम लोग बेबी, तुम लोग थे ही नहीं है. तुम्हारा बाप भी शायद नहीं था उस टाइम. Right? So, you must remember one thing. When you are pitching to investors, see, they will not ask you questions which are irrelevant. They will ask you questions about your business, your competition, your market. Frankly, if you don't have those answers, you cannot run a successful business. You have to have those answers. You must know your competition. You must know your market. You must know what it means to grow in that market, right? Yes, there would be situations where there would be some questions you don't have the answer to. Be honest. Sir, I don't know. I'll have to get back to you on this. Not a problem. Investors appreciate that. Don't fool your way through. Don't, try and fool the investor hoping that he doesn't understand, because please remember, any pitch that you make, you'll normally have 40, 50 investors, of which some guys will be in your industry. They already know your industry, right? So don't try and fool them. But don't expect, see, if you have none of these answers available offhand, then you're not prepared. Very simple. You have to be prepared. You have to understand your business, right? But there will be some situations where you don't have an answer. Be honest. People appreciate honesty. There's no problem. Okay.
So, sir, yes, sir. So, in a generalized case, it's like the instantaneous answers, like this skill comes with experience. There isn't any other way to.
Yeah, because see, I have been taking this kind of session for 8 years now, and most of these questions are. I mean, I've heard them earlier. Even if I haven't, I have faced situations like this in the past. So, all right, it will normally come with experience, but definitely it will come with understanding your business. See, for example, when you are making a pitch on, let's say, a logistics company, right? The investors will ask you questions on logistics. They will not ask you questions on, how is AstraZeneca better than Moderna? That's not your area. But if your area you don't know, to boss, you shouldn't be there. Very simple. ठीक है ना? Chalo, okay. So, 1 minute. I think it's time now. 7:51. Good. So, by the way, I don't see too many people now. Only 6 people left. 7 people left. Please show me your faces, because I have to choose 5 people now, and I can only choose out of the people I see. I will not. Nobody who I can't see will get selected. Remember that. Okay. So there are 5 guys. Like I told you, I am very happy to sign these copies and give them to you. But somebody has to pick them up from me. And I live in Delhi. So somebody has to pick them up, because in COVID times, I refuse to go into a courier shop and send couriers. Okay. Okay. So let me give you the names. I can only see Arvind's beard. Arvind, थोड़ी शक्ल दिखाया. What is your problem?
So that camera.
Camera, nahi, your hair is all over the place. Okay. So first guy, well, not first, I'll just give it to you in random order. One guy who gets these is Krishna. Where is Krishna? I can see his. Krishna, just show me all 6 inches of your mustache.
Thank you, sir.
This is in addition to the chocolates which Vivek has already eaten.
Excuse me, sir. I'll just request you to not sign the books at the moment. Like if we are not able to pick it from you, then we'll just try to get the normal
Vivek,
books.
We'll do one thing now. Vivek will ship rocket do some logistics partner.
No. So there is none of you in Delhi, is it?
We have people in Delhi, but it's the same condition, like COVID's for everyone, right?
Okay.
Yes.
So no, it's very simple. I can just send it by Amazon, in which case it's unsigned.
Yes, sir. You can just announce the names and
Okay.
which. Yes, sir.
Okay, done. So one is Krishna. So then one of you will have to send me all detailed addresses, including the pin code and the name. Sorry, and
Yes,
the phone.
I'm taking down the names.
Yeah. Who's
Yes.
taking down the names?
Vivek.
Vivek. Okay. So one is Krishna. The next guy is is he there? Is he not there? I can't see him. Where is he? Gaurav. Where is Gaurav? Gaurav is there. Gaurav,
Yes, sir. I'm there.
you are looking very
Thank you, sir.
different. पहले तुमने चश्मा पहना हुआ था.
हाँ सर, वो स्पेक्स उतार दिया, दर्द कर रही है आंखें काफी.
Plus तुम लेट भी गए थे. I don't know why you were lying down.
No, sir. Standing.
Okay. Okay. The third guy is Sohardya. Where is he? Is he there?
Thank you, sir.
And the fourth guy is, just hold on, Tarun. Where is Tarun?
Sir, here. Thank you, sir.
Welcome, boss. And the fifth person is the guy with the very long name. Unfortunately, almost no women spoke, but anyway, the guy with the very long name, the four names, which is Arvind.
Sai Ratna.
Arvind, Sai, Ratna, Naduri. Fortunately, I don't have to write down your name because these guys asked me not to sign. नहीं तो एक लाइन में आता नहीं. ठीक है? And by the way, in case somebody else wants the book, you'll have to pick it up from Amazon. If you want, I can. Is there a chat here? I can give you the site. Can I put it down on chat here?
Sure, sir.
Where is the chat? Just 1 minute.
Chat section is disabled, I guess.
Oh, okay. So you don't.
Yes.
Don't want to.
No, sir. Actually, like it's open for the MNITians. You have joined from an outside organization, so you can't use the chat.
Oh, some of you are from outside.
Yes, sir.
So Vivek, can you just send? Oh, by the way, I forgot. Vivek, as the organizer, also gets a copy.
Thank you so much.
Finally, I've seen Vivek smile. Okay, so Vivek, please send out a message to everybody. Just give them that link which I had given you.
Yes, we'll definitely circulate it through WhatsApp groups.
Otherwise, 6 of you get it, and I need Vivek. I need the names and the phone numbers and the pin codes. Otherwise, Amazon doesn't accept it.
Yes.
नहीं तो मेरा वो जेफ बीजोस के साथ झगड़ा हो जाएगा. क्यों नहीं भेजा? ठीक है जी. चलो. Have fun, all of you.
Sir, Devarsh will just conclude the session.
Oh, okay.
Right, sir. So Muskan is here.
I'm here.
Yes.
So now it's time to conclude this very insightful and wonderful session. So on behalf of the entire team of IIC, it is my privilege to propose a vote of thanks to everyone who has directly or indirectly contributed to this successful conduction of the session. And first and foremost, I would like to thank and express my gratitude to our distinguished speaker, Dr. Dhruv Nath, for sparing his invaluable time to grace this session and enlightening us with commendable talk.
Not only that, I was hungry.
Yes, sir. So thank you for that, sir. We are very grateful.
Thank you for being hungry.
Sir, stay hungry, stay foolish.
नहीं मैं अब डिनर खाने जा रहा हूँ यार.
Right. So also one more thing. We would also like to thank our president of IIC, that is Professor Gitika ma'am, for her support, and also the convener of IIC, Professor Shivesh Sharma sir, and also the vice president of IIC, that is Professor A.K. Singh sir. Without their support, these events would not have been possible. And also thank you all the audience for giving your time, and thank you sir for your time.
Great, wonderful talking to you guys. Hopefully we'll meet sometime after COVID, not during COVID.
Sure, sir. After
Definitely.
COVID. Okay.
Chalo. Have fun. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye, sir.
Thank you, sir. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Bye, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
यार शिप रॉकेट से हो जाता शायद।
एक मिनट रुक जाओ।